Las Vegas, a destination of dreams annually, but in 2020, a unique temporary home. College football on CBS Sports Network presented by the Home Depot. The Wyoming Cowboys take on the host, New Mexico Lobos. In the chaos of 2020, state law in New Mexico prohibits gatherings of more than 5 people. So the Lobos have had to improvise. They've shifted operations to Las Vegas, where they are living, learning, and practicing out of a hotel, and they're playing games in the home of a longtime conference compatriot. And alongside my good friend, the College Football Hall of Famer in Randy Cross, I'm John Sadak, and the Lobos are making history. Unprecedented effort by New Mexico this year.
Yeah, they've done a fabulous job, too, in this great big hotel, basically to themselves. You know, they have meeting rooms that are weight rooms, and there are no weight rooms, and there's a lot of area they can do things. As a group, they have done amazing.
For Wyoming, Xavier Valladay has done amazing things in the backfield, but he got banged up in Las Vegas against UNLV last week. He is unavailable tonight. That means the spotlight shines even brighter on Trey Smith, who answered the call last week as we do Project Smarter, brought to you by the Home Depot.
Well, normally he and Trey Smith both would play during a game. Smith would get a pretty good load. Well, last week he got an increased load, and he came away with his highest number ever rushing, over 100 yards, including this big play, and gives you an idea. He's got some pretty good scoots for a guy that's like 6 foot, about 220 pounds. He is solid. He's going to have to carry a bigger load, but he's plenty strong to do it.
The load has been difficult for quarterbacks of New Mexico. They are a banged-up bunch. They're down to their 4th stringer, who will start for the first time tonight, the walk-on and Connor Janal.
Yeah, Connor Janal, he's from a legendary high school program, a Catholic high school in Southern California, and the coaches refer to him as a do-right guy. He's smart, he throws well, he's not a huge threat as a runner, but this kid is solid.
San Jose State incredibly solid. Took down Hawaii earlier today. Boise State also unblemished. No divisions this year in the Mountain West. The top 2 teams will meet for the conference championship. It is 47 degrees and it still continues to tumble. There is a biting chill to the air here tonight, and an empty and barren stadium outside of the sidelines. So New Mexico won the toss and will receive. The Wyoming Cowboys and Nick Null ready to boot it. This is back-to-back trips to Las Vegas for Wyoming. Pummeled UNLV at Allegiant Stadium, the home of the Raiders, just last week.
They are a very tough, physical football team.
Here is the first look for the Lobos, showing some shake, and there Null able to make the pop. And New Mexico's offense trots out onto the field after the return by Chad Alexander. At quarterback for New Mexico, Connor Janal, the 3rd starting quarterback of the season, their 7th in 18 games. First walk-on to start in 2 decades for New Mexico.
And we'll see a little bit of Isaiah Chavez, too, at quarterback.
Here Bobby Wooden, wide receiver, gets a block on the edge, hops out of bounds. As we take a look at the rest of the starters for the Lobos on offense, and they have a very special right tackle in Teton Saltis.
Yeah, he's something. He's in law school. What a sharp guy. It was really nice talking to him, and he sounded like a law school student. Heck, he sounded like a law school graduate.
Working in constitutional law, play fake. Janal on the run, able to funnel it forward. And the loud pop beyond the sticks, that's good for a first down. Contact from Charles Hicks. And for the Wyoming defense, they got Garrett Krall back last week, and boy, did he make an impact. A 9-yard tackle for loss on the first defensive snap.
This kid can go. And in this Wyoming program, Craig Bowl, every year he's got 2 or 3 of these guys that are incredible effort players. And this year, Krall is the lead dog.
Well, what a loaded backfield here. Trying to show some misdirection. And on the keep, you called for him. Isaiah Chavez gets a few yards. They do have some designed packages, and they plan on using him about a dozen times tonight.
Yeah, according to Coach Gonzalez, he's got about 12 to 15 plays and packages that they've got figured, and that's what he'll do well. He'll run the ball well. That's something that Janal is. He's just not that kind of a runner, more of a passer. So change of pace will be Chavez.
Janal hadn't played since his high school senior year 2 years ago. A decent scene for Nick Jones. He's a couple of yards shy of midfield. So 3rd and medium here for the Lobos.
Pretty decent pace that New Mexico is working with. Good sense of urgency, and their biggest urgency is to stay on the field. They want to keep their defense off the field, which keeps Wyoming's offense away from opportunities to make yards and hold the ball, because that's something they really do well.
Their goal is to try to be in 3rd and 3 or less. Here's 3rd and 5. They convert 38% of the time on the year. Wyoming is effective on 3rd down defensively. Option, loose ball, picked up by Wyoming. Charles Hicks streaking up the sideline and shoved out of bounds at the 15. A huge turnover on an option gone terribly wrong for the Lobos.
First down, Wyoming.
They had a heck of an opportunity. They had the numbers on the edge, and Janal just couldn't quite get the ball where it should be. There's the pitch. It was more of a, it wasn't the aim, it was the enthusiasm. Little too much pepper on that thing, on that pitch, and that's why that thing, it wasn't able to be caught.
And Wyoming is without Nico Bolden, who leads the Mountain West in forced fumbles. They said they needed to find creative ways to get turnovers, and they get one there. So Wyoming's offense blessed with a super short field as Levi Williams, the redshirt freshman, works out of the gun. No Xavier Valladay, did not travel. Lob, end zone, incomplete. Dante Crow bumped by Patrick Peak.
Nice job by Patrick Peak. It's about body position. It isn't always, do you knock away the ball? You look at that body position, he didn't touch him. He just got between the receiver and the quarterback, and the ball never got a chance to get anywhere close. Nice job by Peak.
Tonight's Red Zone brought to you by Verizon. Cowboys, a bruising ground game. They want to pound you into submission. Contact there from Jake Saltonstall, and a lot of eyes on Trey Smith. You mentioned, Randy, not only a career-high 164 yards, a career-high 24 carries. He was the bell cow last week.
Well, he can handle that, too. I mean, at 6 foot and about 220, he is strong, and as you saw in that opening sequence we showed you, he's got the scoots if you give him some open air to run into.
New Mexico struggles terribly defensively on 3rd down, 49%. Williams all day, slings it, double coverage incomplete, the leaping Isaiah Nayor. And now the kicking unit out after they had 1st and 10 at the 15.
That is a win for New Mexico, only giving up a field goal off of that fumble on the outside. Williams, he had a shot. In fact, the best shot he had on that play was a dump down to Trey Smith, who was by himself about 7 yards past the line of scrimmage.
John Hoyland from 29 for the first points of the game. And the walk-on kicker converts. Now Wyoming opportunistically bounces on a loose ball, but the Lobos stiffen. A possession begun in the red zone. They settle for 3.
Welcome back to Las Vegas. Keep an eye on Trey Smith right there, the running back. Now the ball is thrown through the end zone. But look what Williams had if he just checks it down to his running back. And there's plenty of room there. You could have dumped that down to the running back and maybe even had a touchdown, but definitely had at least a 1st down, John.
That's a redshirt freshman who did not begin the year as the starter. Sean Chambers did, but suffered a broken left fibula on the 3rd play of the opener. An ugly play against Nevada. Poor young man has had season-ending surgeries in 3 successive seasons. So they had to settle for the 29-yard chip shot field goal. A 4-play, 3-yard drive that only ate up 55 seconds, too.
Very important for Janal, the quarterback, to kind of settle down. He's a little bit jacked up, And that's why he pitched that ball that hard. You got to get him on the sideline and get him to take some deep breaths.
Nick Knowles' kick. And a reluctant drop knee for Chad Alexander. Time now for our Tools for Success, brought to you by Rocket Mortgage. What do you got, my friend?
Well, it's Wyoming, so on offense, they're going to want to pound and squeeze that clock. Defensively, tackles for loss, they want you to punt, and they're going to score if they get the chance. As you saw, they almost did. Offense for New Mexico, the quarterbacks have to account for about 250 total yards, and they can have 0 turnovers. Defensively, you got to limit those explosive plays, and those are runs of 10 and passes of 15 to 20.
Here's another look for Janal and company. The ground game, Bobby Cole, who's a power back, shows some shiftiness, gets a touch more than 5. This Lobos team that is winless on the year, they have lost 14 consecutive games. They have lost 20 straight conference games. Oddly enough, the last such win came here in Sam Boyd Stadium at UNLV, and that's what Danny Gonzalez is trying to turn around at his alma mater. He was a player, GA, video man, position coach, head coach, and great pursuit by Wyoming. Charles Hicks has been all over the field.
And you know, the greatest thing Danny Gonzalez has going for him right now, too, is his defensive coordinator. You might have heard this name before. Rocky Long, former quarterback at New Mexico, former head coach here, head coach at San Diego State, and Danny Gonzalez got him to come with him here. And they're serious. I mean, they are real serious about what they're going to build here.
Late motion out of the backfield. 3rd down. Janal finds the tight window, and he threads the needle to convert to Andrew Erickson, the former walk-on.
Yeah, very important for Janal to get this kind of confident pass, and he has nice placement. And great job by Erickson. Watch the way he catches this ball. Never gets into his body. That ball he catches with his hands. You don't see that enough out of receivers.
Motion and misdirection. Cole up the gut gets a few. And it does seem like New Mexico has a lot of bodies bunched up, very close to each other, right along wings almost on that line.
Yeah, it's a little reminiscent of some styles of option offense. They want to build at New Mexico what Craig Bowl has done at Wyoming. They want to be bullies. They want to be tough. They want to be physical. And they sure as heck give their guys a chance to do it now when they're a little outmatched.
Janal sees something. He had split reps with Trey Hall leading up to last week's game against UNLV. Cole, a giant hole, and he drops the shoulders and barrels into Crawl and company. There's another 1st down for New Mexico.
And that's exactly what Danny Gonzalez wants his football team to look like. Look at the hole inside. I mean, they want to be a bully. They want to be physical, and right now they're doing a good job.
Now they're going tempo. Cole, after picking up 10, gets about 3. Is this impressive? Is this expected for New Mexico to have this kind of success and rhythm to a drive like this?
I think it's expected for them to try it.
Right.
Now, to be that effective, I think is a little bit unexpected, especially from Wyoming. I think Wyoming was expecting to kind of impose their will, and right now, New Mexico's made the one mistake, but they haven't done that.
Austin Erickson, slot, top of the screen, 82. It's his first ever game, the freshman. There's the option pitch and a room to work for Cole as he gets ripped down right near the marker.
That's exactly the play they ran to the left that it was fumbled earlier. Okay? Now you got a great option. The player on the line is who you're optioning. You get out there and you pitch it out like that. That was set up exactly like the one to the left that Janal just overamped and drilled it into the side of his running back.
Nate Jones checks in at running back, 4-star recruit, originally committed to UCLA on 3rd and 1. And a toss to him, but it's blown dead. Timeout first from Wyoming.
Prior to the snap, Wyoming used the first charge time of the half.
One thing we haven't seen from Wyoming that we really expected, John, were tackles for loss. They're not getting much penetration, and credit New Mexico for that up front.
Back in Las Vegas after a timeout called by the 7th-year head man of Wyoming, Craig Bohl. 3rd and 1 for New Mexico coming up. Why call that timeout, Randy?
Well, it was getting ready to be the 3rd time we've seen them being a little outflanked by numbers on the outside. One time was that bad pitch. The second time was that well-run sweep on the outside for about 5 or 6 yards. Got to see an adjustment here. They're giving them some pretty good formation looks with these double slot here, and then motion on top of that for shifts.
3rd down and less than a yard. The bigger back, Bobby Cole, returns. And Cole gets fed. He's got the 1st down and more. Shot out of a cannon. Pierces inside of the 25-yard line, and that'll move the chains. Pick up a 13.
See, the motion comes across the formation. Now look at the hole that opens up in the middle of this defense. That's really nice. I mean, part of it's execution. The line's doing a nice job of blocking it, but the other part of it is just scheme-wise.
Well, part of it for Wyoming, no Victor Jones, suspended last week for an unspecified violation of team rules. Normally a starting defensive end in what is a makeshift defensive line. Motion from Connor Kinslow. Janal on the roll, he's pressured, throws it up for grabs, and Wyoming's got its 2nd turnover. On bent knee, C.J. Colden, who co-leads the team in breakups, gets his first pick of the campaign.
Now that was done like a non-scholarship walk-on 4th team quarterback. You can't do that. And that point will be made on the sideline, I'm sure.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by The Home Depot. How doers get more done. By Ram. Built to serve. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Both Wyoming and New Mexico familiar with this stadium. They each appeared over the course of 3 years in the Las Vegas Bowl. This ball appears in the clutches of Wyoming.
Well, you get Harris got right in Janal's face. I think he was surprised. And because he was surprised, he just chunked it up. And that 2nd turnover, and all on him.
Trey Smith trying to create some breathing room. Instead gets closed down and swallowed up. Pursuit from Brandon Shook, who was a tackle machine.
He really is, and this is a defense made to disrupt. Their defensive coordinator I talked about a little bit earlier, Rocky Long. Look at this defense before the ball is snapped, and they're disruptive. At times they'll have 2 defensive linemen, and everybody else will be linebackers, safeties. I mean, they love to blitz.
That is a crowded front, expecting the run, and Smith bounces it out, the stiff arm, and a 1st down. Shoved out of bounds by Cedric Lowry Jr. That is a man's run with shiftiness.
Yeah, very nice job by the guys up front, and not a very good job by the defense in New Mexico State. They're in the right spot. The blocking's not bad, but where's the support? You've got to have the support outside. Trey Smith, it can be a monster. He's strong, and Rocky Long, the defensive coordinator, can't be happy with that play.
Mastermind of defense, coordinated at San Diego State, became the head coach there, and created a conference juggernaut. And they couldn't get this playoff clean, so with 6 on the play clock, a timeout, the 2nd called by Wyoming in this 1st quarter. We'll step aside. The Cowboys discuss 1st and 10 when we're back. Welcome on back. 3-0 Wyoming the lead. QB1 is Levi Williams, who originally committed to Houston. And the run. Trey Smith on 1st down out of the Wyoming timeout behind that big offensive line championed by the captain at center in Keegan Kreider.
Yeah, Kreider does a nice job on that play specifically. We went to that O-line at the right time because that was their best play. They have the ability to physically get into defensive linemen and then move and position them very, very well. They're extremely well coached. Bart Miller is a good offensive line coach.
just outside the top 20 in the country in time of possession. Play fake, and Williams opens it up and overshoots Isaiah Nayor, his big play wideout. Third down.
Just a little bit excited, I think, about this play. You had some nice execution. You had a receiver that was clearly open, and the ball is about a half an arm too long.
So now Williams is 0 for 3 passing. What do you dial up on 3rd and 4?
I think staying in the middle of the field is not a bad idea to me. They're going to blitz.
The blitz comes. And a keeper for Williams. He gets pounded about 3 yards shy.
You know, this quarterback's 6'5", about 240 pounds. And I think, you know, with no Valladay and having Smith carrying a big load, quarterback runs like that are a pretty viable option, a good change of pace. You've got to do some read options or some quarterback options like that just to keep the defense honest.
Nick Null, who handles kickoff, also the punter. Emmanuel Logan Green, not anticipated to be a wideout. He normally does that. He's only going to punt return tonight. 3-0 Wyoming, having already exhausted 2 timeouts. Null shoots it away. Logan Green. A fair catch just north of the 40. The Lobos showed some mo early. We'll see what Janal and company can whip up when we're back. Time now for Fast Facts, brought to you by Advil. The Lobos have been living in a hotel since the 2nd of November. They have their meals in an abandoned casino at the hotel. They perform their walkthroughs on the 4th floor of an adjacent parking garage. It is far from easy. And they have been doing this with a bit of a revolving door at quarterback due to injury. Danny Gonzalez has seen Tabaka Tuioti suffer a concussion. Trey Hall battling bruised ribs. He is down to the young man who entered the spring 4th on the depth chart, and Connor Jadal, who handled the late stage of last week pretty well.
He did, and they've already done twice what we said at the start was something they couldn't afford to do, was turn the ball over, and so far it's only cost them a field goal. They've had the field position.
Giant difference in yardage. Most of the New Mexico yards have come courtesy of Cole. Bobby Cole, and there is the turnover numbers, and here are the quarterbacks that have seen time this year. Tabaka Tuioti suffered a 3rd concussion during his New Mexico tenure. He is in uniform tonight, but was not medically cleared to play. He did throw the ball around some. Trey Hall, bruised ribs that were progressive over the course of a grueling series of games at quarterback.
The quarterbacks get hit a lot in this offense, and they'll get hit a lot tonight.
A lot of motion here from New Mexico. They're testing Wyoming some. Nate Jones has got some burners. He's right near the marker at the Wyoming 49. They're going to move the chains. First down.
Yeah, what a nice job, though. You hear the thing, the comment about putting your foot in the ground, and you look back and you see a crawl coming from the backside. There's a reason to put your foot in the ground. And when you put your foot in the ground, get up the field and make what you can. He made 5 yards that time.
Yeah, for crawl foot is the operative word. He had 3 foot surgeries that slowed his season until just last week, but he is a game-changing player. Late, softer coverage from Wyoming that collectively look to the sidelines. That allows a little bit of breathing room and space for Nate Jones, and the ground game for New Mexico has been very effective.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you look at Stapley at center, Cook at left guard, Briggs at left tackle. Look at the job they're doing, and the space they have and the surface they have on the defenders. They're staying on their blocks.
And there is Charles Hicks, top 3 tackler for the Cowboys, who already has the opportunistic fumble recovery for Wyoming in this game. And they're down Nico Bolden, the Mountain West leader in forced fumbles on the year. Hicks had been flying all over the field on the first 2 New Mexico possessions.
Yeah, that was a heck of a play there, and you really got to hope that, you know, this kid's going to be okay.
Now, the athletic training staff taking a look at Hicks as we say a friendly hello from here in Las Vegas. The Mountain West Conference Like many in this country, it's been a bit of a jagged year. We saw a cancellation of Boise State and UNLV right across town at Allegiant Stadium. You and I were set to be on the call for that last night. And the clouded picture that the league has had, with Boise State still set to oppose Wyoming in a week's time, but this Wyoming team is getting a little banged up as the season's worn on.
Yeah, they are, and give some credit here in this game in particular. New Mexico right now is out bullying the bully. That's Wyoming's MO. They come in, they physically take kind of the game out of you. Right now, the offensive line specifically of New Mexico is taking it to Wyoming's defense.
Start your Sundays with that other pregame show as the CBS Sports Network crew breaks down all the recent news and gets you ready for every game on the NFL calendar. Tomorrow morning, 8 Eastern, on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Second down, they feed Bobby Wooden. They showed this play in the early stage of the game, and Wooden on the spin has the first down. Young man had 1 carry all season. He's got 2 in the first quarter tonight.
And there's a solid 3 yards after first contact. He got contacted almost about the line of scrimmage, going to the left, and a nice job. Look at the surface I was talking about. If you're a blocker and you've got your hands or your shoulder pads on the other guy, on the defender, the running back's got a chance to run through that attempted tackle.
Isaiah Chavez enters a quarterback Wyoming recognizes. They showed press, they fade back. Seems to be more of a running QB. He feeds Cole, and Cole just gets low, finds a hole, and pounds through. He earns the 30-yard line.
I really like what we're seeing out of anybody carrying the ball in a red jersey tonight. Because when they get the ball in their hands, and in this case it's Cole getting the ball from Chavez, they aren't juking. They're not faking anybody out. They're not trying to dodge anybody. They're just going straight up and down.
Isaiah Chavez, who was the Gatorade Player of the Year in New Mexico, a preferred walk-on, who had not played until tonight. Second down, low snap, he handles it well. Option, and there's Wooden again. And that'll be another first down for the Lobos, who seem to have Wyoming guessing a little bit and off balance.
Well, when you're a Wyoming defender, the difference is, look at the angle the defenders are coming at the ball. Everybody's attempting tackles coming sideways. And when you're attempting tackles going sideways, there's going to be positive yards there for the running back. And so far, the positive yards are all happening after contact for New Mexico.
Connor Jadal back on the field. Threw a pick on the last possession on a forced heave of desperation. After motion from Wooden. On one clap, Nate Jones cuts it upfield. Garrett Krall latches on and won't let go. And only about a yard.
Yeah, Krall's penetration across the line of scrimmage. He watches on the backside, he watches, but again, 2+ yards after contact. Krall hits him, and he still gets past the first down mark. I mean, that should have been a loss of 2 yards. It ended up being a gain of 1.
Garrett Krall, who arrived at 200 pounds as a high school quarterback. He is a major impact DN. With Wooden in motion, they go to Cole. And he gets pounded by Chad Muma. Haven't called his name a lot. One of the top tacklers in college football. There's about 3.
Yeah, they love that motion with a little trap with that H motion right there. That was a beautiful job blocking for Cole.
And so the New Mexico Lobos on the drive. They have owned the football for 11 and a half minutes. Wyoming the lead, but the Lobos feeling some mo. And they'll be on the drive for the second quarter. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by the Home Depot. 3-0 Wyoming, but the first quarter in most categories belonged to the Lobos of New Mexico.
It sure does, and Bobby Cole running the ball. This football team has 69 yards in the first quarter against a pretty good, tough, physical Wyoming defense. Their field position has been excellent. Everything has been excellent for New Mexico. Look at all the stats are in New Mexico's favor, but the reality is they're still down 3-0.
Connor Janal out there for third down. See the difference in total yards, the time of possession number. Startling. Nate Jones, he has a big hole, and he's got a touchdown. The second score for the true freshman as he zips it in from 21 yards out, and now the Lobos have the lead.
Boy, the right side, Gutierrez, Teton Saltes, he does a beautiful job. Good instinct, just running the ball by Jones, and a beautiful game plan by Derek Warsheim, the offensive coordinator and play caller. It's just perfect so far for New Mexico. I was going to say it's reminiscent of their game against Nevada that was so close for so long, but this is as good as they've looked probably in 2020 period.
Point after, Donovan Murphy able to convert. Nate Jones committed to UCLA. He decommitted. He chose the Lobos, and the former four-star has the Lobos on top. Begins at noon Eastern. JB and the guys on the NFL Today. Allegiant Stadium, only a dozen miles from here at Sam Boyd, the gorgeous home of the Vegas Raiders. They will take on the winless New York Jets tomorrow. So a heck of a scoring run for Nate Jones to cap off the 9-play drive. The Lobos for Danny Gonzalez, Randy Cross, already have 90 yards rushing. Wyoming only allows a little over 100 per game. Second best in the Mountain West and top 15 in America.
Yeah, the execution of Warheim's game plan has been flawless so far.
See if Wyoming can respond. Dante Crow on the kick return. Earns about the 26. Break down the blocking in this TD.
Well, you got to look at the right side and the combination blocks that happen. That was a really nice job by Saltes and Davis, and that combination turned everything loose. The linebacker tried to run through. It wasn't completely clean, but it was really nice execution.
And remember, we mentioned that New Mexico on a 14-game losing streak. At the start of the day, it was the second longest active in college football. It's now the longest. Akron finally won, snapping a 21-game slide, pounding Bowling Green. And Trey Smith takes a shot, popped by Shadrick Lowry Jr., earns about 8 yards.
Yeah, if there's one thing you expect Trey Smith to be really adept at, he's a power back. So if you're going to get a shot on him, I guarantee you this kid's going to keep getting up.
They're putting in a second back here, Randy. DeWyan McNeely, who got his first action of the year last week at UNLV. A split backfield on 2nd and 3. And McNeely goes into the flat. And there goes Trey Smith past the linebackers to the 3rd level. A first down to the 45-yard line.
Trey Smith is a good, powerful kid. He's a football kid. I mean, his dad, Jimmy Smith II, that's why he's Trey. But I mean, I loved his dad when he was with the Jaguars. Talk about a tough, physical, skilled receiver. And the genes were passed along well.
5-time Pro Bowler, 2-time Super Bowl champ. Oh, what a great sell on the fake. And Levi Williams launches. Not quite fully airborne, but a good bunny hop. And Patrick Peak tames him after 15 yards. The gap plays, the chunk plays are coming for Wyoming.
Yeah, these are the kind of plays I talked about that New Mexico didn't want to give this Wyoming team. And talk about confidence. This gives this Wyoming offense, these last 3 or 4 plays, they're going to start feeling it now.
When do you play action? Blitz shown here by the Lobos. Trey Smith right to the teeth of the defense, tamed after 2. They are without Xavier Valladay, injured in the early stage last week against UNLV. Trey Smith went off.
And when you got a guy that just coming off 24 carries for 164 yards, you're not trying to fake them out. You're trying to wear them out. And that's really the MO of Craig Bohl's football team at Wyoming. He likes to physically take people out of games.
Well, Smith taken out here. They have a tight end in the split backfield. And they feed Parker Christensen, the former Gatorade Player of the Year in his native Wyoming. It's going to be short, it looks like, by about 2, so third down arrives.
Yeah, it's mission accomplished. You know, if you're a pounded out kind of a team, you're not a quick strike football team. 3 yards, 4 yards, 5 yards. Any combination of those, and that equals a first down, and that's all you really want. Keep the pounding up.
They haven't converted on third down yet. They anticipate something up the middle. Levi Williams spins after first contact, shielding the ball. He'll be short. What do you do here on 4th and short with a power team?
It's going to be 4th and about 1.5 yards, maybe 2. Not a surprise if they do go for it.
4th down.
You know, look at the position you're on the field. New Mexico, you see the different blitzes and stunts and games they do up front, but so far they're doing a pretty good job of being in the right gaps against Bowles' offense.
4th and a short 2. Late, they go empty. They're 4 of 7 on 4th down this year. And Williams changing it up. No, he tried to fool them, and they do not get duped. The penetration of the tackle from Rico Hanna, and the Lobos hold on 4th down.
You go empty, you walk up, and you take the snap under center.
Mexico.
Danny Gonzalez and Rocky Long's defense was not fooled for a second and did a really nice job of not only stuffing, but then repelling the Wyoming quarterback.
Well, Wyoming 0 for 3 on third down, 0 for 1 on 4th down. The Lobos making a statement.
Welcome back to Las Vegas, and on that big 4th down stop, watch the freshman, Bruce Santana. Now, it looks like he's going to get blown out, but once the play starts and there's contact, he just doesn't go anywhere. There's absolutely zero push in front of the quarterback, and Williams has nowhere to go because the freshman nose tackle just wouldn't be blocked.
That's a defense coordinated by one of the masters, Rocky Long. A 3-3-5 defense. 19 days after he announced his retirement with San Diego State, he was named the defensive coordinator at his alma mater, the University of New Mexico. The homecoming, not what you would dream up. They're 0-5. They're playing their season in Las Vegas, but could they snap what is now the nation's longest active losing streak against a powerful Wyoming team? There, Bryson Carroll, the converted quarterback, gets his first look.
And be careful with Bryson Carroll. This is a kid that he can throw the ball. In fact, I almost guarantee you he's going to throw the ball in this game at some point.
He's thrown twice this year, both touchdowns. Haven't seen a lot of him, though. It's been overwhelmingly Bobby Cole and Nate Jones. Connor Janal feeds the sweeping walk-on Austin Erickson, playing his first collegiate game. Not much there, but he's been used quite a bit as he loses 3, third down.
Yeah, nice run through there. Muma just comes through and makes that play. That was pretty nice. That's a linebacker being a linebacker. Instinct to the ball.
His defensive coordinator, Jay Sawmell, akin to him to Chris Spielman.
That's some high praise.
Loaded front from Wyoming. Muma shaping up to pound right over center. He fades back in coverage. Janal off to the pump. Tried to climb the ladder there, but he overshoots Elijah Queen, one of the many freshmen getting a lot of time for New Mexico, 4th down.
Now, there's a good example of 2 things. One is, if you're the Wyoming defense, you want to keep taking shots at this quarterback. Keep hitting him. You'll affect the throws eventually. He gets a little hit there from Crawl. But the other thing is, when you're a young quarterback, sometimes the passes you don't give anybody a chance to catch are your better passes. That was one of those for Janal.
Tyson Dyer gets off his right-footed kick. Dante Crow, the fair catch wave, and on the back pedal rips it in. Well, New Mexico has largely owned field position and has the lead after just a 36-yard punt.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by the Queso Burger for just $3.99. Only for a limited time at Sonic. By Advil. Pain says you can. Advil says you can. And by Old Trapper Beef Jerky. What's your beef?
Rocky Long, synonymous with his alma mater, the former quarterback, assistant coach, head coach, back as the DC. He told us, when I was coming out of high school, no one else recruited me. No one else gave me a scholarship. No one else thought I could play except New Mexico. And I thought maybe I could give back by coming back for another round as a coordinator this time and mentoring his longtime protege, Danny Gonzalez. Motion from Devin Jennings. Levi Williams on the run. Nice throw. Hooks up with Trayton Welch. We do have a flag.
There was a little contact down the field, I think, on the defense.
Catch was good for the first down, but we'll get word from Christian Watson, our referee in this Mountain West crew.
Nice job, though, by Levi Williams, buying himself a little bit of time and then getting that ball across his body in the middle of the field.
Defense, number 11, spot foul, and automatic first down.
Now goes on the starting linebacker, the fifth-year senior, Cameron Miller.
That was Miller right there in the middle of the field, giving the bear hug just before the completion.
And the pistol. Trey Smith gets a view, and we get a Papa John's update as we shoot to our New York City studios.
John, Randy, Devontae Smith on CBS having a massive night. 8 catches, 231, 3 touchdowns. Fourth quarter, Alabama leads at LSU 55-17.
Goodness gracious. We appreciate that, Brent. Alabama continues to roll, and 2020, the year of misery for LSU, continues. On Wyoming, a giant hole! Trey Smith! No one will get him. Touchdown, Cowboys! 58 yards.
Sometimes scheme meets execution. You've got the scheme, then the execution of the play itself. I mean, Frank Crum, Logan Harris, Keegan Kreider, they do it perfectly. Maintain that surface. So not bad scoots for a guy that's a power back, huh?
He was the third best athlete in Mississippi out of high school. He was a running back, he was a quarterback, he was a wide receiver in high school. John Hoyland knocks through the extra point. And he gets the go-ahead score. He can run for days, and the primary back has Wyoming in the driver's seat. (10-7) Wyoming with the lead thanks to Trey Smith and his 58-yard carry. Coming up on the Ram Trucks halftime report, Brent Stover, Houston Nutt, Kevin Carter in our CBS Sports Network studio. They'll break down the day that was in college football. Our top 25 scoreboard brought to you by Tums, a biggie with undefeateds as Coastal Carolina got the better of BYU. What'd you think of that, Randy?
I was surprised by that. You know, I thought BYU was a great, big, physical, mature football team going into a, you know, not very big, but man, it wasn't even close. It was fun to watch. And they run their version of a spread option type of an offense, which is more run-based than anything else, almost to perfection.
Also surprising to see Marshall lose for the first time and get shut out by Rice. Here's Emmanuel Logan Green. Electric out of the gate! One man! High stepping out of bounds! A spectacular return for the Lobos.
You hear it all the time from coaches when you play football is it's the answer that defines who you are. It's not giving up a big play. It's how you respond and how you answer. How about that for an answer? That is a beautiful job by the special teams of New Mexico. Just the old shortest distance between 2 points, the straight line, and they just zip it right up the field, and that was due to some excellent blocking.
By far the longest return of the year for the Lobos. Emmanuel Logan Green getting celebrated by his teammates. This is a winless team. They've been living and working and learning out of a hotel. They've been having walkthroughs in a parking garage. They're having meetings in a closed casino.
You didn't have much of a spring. You didn't have any of a preseason.
These young men are having fun tonight. Cole gets pounded. C.J. Colden able to finish him off after he was first held onto by Isaiah Gandy.
You know, and as Danny Gonzalez tries to build this program, you know, at New Mexico, you know, you have no idea how vital spring practice is, and you have no idea how vital that off-season weight program is, and the weightlifting, everything. They haven't had that. And how do you build and change a culture without it? Well, I'm not sure anybody could answer that question, because I don't know if you can.
And their weights are just barbells and resistance bands. Toss play opposite the pressure. And Nate Jones hurdles a defender. Flag down. A second flag flutters in as well.
Got a little illegal block in there.
There is a lot of loud crashing of humanity when each team is on offense.
Holding. Offense. Number 50. 10-yard penalty. Made second down.
Right tackle Teton Saltis.
Yeah, they got Teton Saltis, the right tackle. Big pull. Look at that kid run. Look at Saltis go, but he horse collars himself a Wyoming defender. That way, if you're going to get a hold, get your money's worth. And he got his money's worth on that.
A young man who tonight is starting his 32nd game at tackle. They have a new quarterback in, Isaiah Chavez. Motion from Bobby Wooden. That's a crowded backfield. Fake to Cole. It's kept by Chavez, and Muma not fooled in the least. Excellent pursuit.
Yeah, it was a very nice job responsibility-wise. Watch the outside defenders. There's the first option is the give. The second option is the quarterback, and Muma takes the quarterback out. You can't pitch the ball because the corner's got his responsibility on the outside running back. So, you know, Chavez, I mean, you really had nothing to do but eat the ball.
So third down arrives. Connor Janal back in. As it stands, you're looking at a 49-yard field goal. Oh, pressured. And a dangerous ball completed to Cole. They get a lot of yards back, and they help out a field goal try. It'll be 4th down and 8.
Yeah, that's the main point right now. You're looking at a 40-yard field goal instead of a 50-yard field goal. That was really a nice job by Janal. He saw the blitz coming, he saw the hit coming, and he just gets it off in time. Good composure by the young quarterback.
He came up, though, clutching his left arm. He was taken to the ground pretty hard there. A little more than a 40-yard try from Murphy. Murphy to tie. And it's good. He is 3 for 3 on field goals for Danny Gonzalez.
Yeah, really nice execution. Good snap. Excellent placement. And Murphy gets that ball, just drills it right through, just inside the right upright. Luckily for him, it had no fade on it.
Yeah, the kicking job had been up in the air with poor performance. Reopened just last week after a horrendous showing against Air Force. This year, the Dr. Pepper tuition giveaway is back and bigger than ever, giving away $2 million in tuition. Learn more at drpepper.com. The primary kicker, George Steinkamp, missed 2 field goals, had 1 blocked against Air Force. Last year's primary kicker, Andrew Shelley, missed 1 in that game. And then Murphy, the junior out of Los Alamos, claimed the job, had been handling kickoff duties. So he still does that.
Remember that field goal all set up by that beautiful return after the huge run by Trey Smith. So you've got an answer and a big play, and then an answer and a big return.
Dante Crow, dangerous return here from inside his 5. And New Mexico's going to chop him down at the 23. Ball loose, but it looked like he was stopped first. And indeed, they call him down. It was a 75-yard return by Emmanuel Logan Green that set up a short field for New Mexico. And you wonder, though, Randy, this first half has overwhelmingly leaned toward the Lobos. And yet here are the Cowboys tied at 10.
Yeah, it's tied at 10. If I know the first thing I do, and they're going to give them the same look formation-wise, except to the left side, that there was no support from the safeties on that big run by Trey Smith.
Here's Trey Smith. A couple of Lobos bring him down after a little more than 5. Smith already over 100 yards in this game. His career high of 164 came last week. He's well on his way to shattering that. And Wyoming has had success over the years against New Mexico. Xavier Valladay had 2 tremendous performances, both over 100 yards against New Mexico. Smith motions. Not a whole lot of room there for DeWyan McNeely, only a yard for the redshirt freshman that they would like to beef up from 203 to about 220.
In this style of offense, a little bit bigger back is better. And Trey Smith sort of defines that. He's only got 9 carries for that 100-plus yards that he's got.
Wyoming does not have a converted third down, 0 for 3, and stopped on 4th and short.
Setting up some good field position here for New Mexico if you can find a way to get this stop.
Trey Smith into the heart of the line, right near the marker. That looks good. That'll move the chains by about a foot for a first down.
And you know Trey Smith is ready for contact. Look at his second arm. His second hand gets over on top of the ball. And when you're getting that handoff from the backfield and the first thing you do is get a second hand on the ball, you know you're getting ready to get smacked. He puts that head down and just drills in for that first down.
Backs in the eye here. Play fake. Williams loading up. Looking for his first completion. Connects. Caught by Isaiah Nayor. He is one of the nation's best in yards per catch on the year. And a big home run ball for Wyoming.
Nice protection. Good composure by Williams. Takes a deep breath and just hits Nayor perfectly in stride for a 54-yard completion.
He entered, Randy, 1 catch shy of being the nation's 3rd leading man in the country in yards per catch. Put it in the belly here. They get about a yard. Take a look at what Nayor has done on the year. He had 3 catches for over 100 in the opener against Nevada.
Well, it's kind of what he specializes in. But when you can create that kind of space by move or by scheme, that's how you're that kind of a weapon.
Second down and 9. Movement. Trey Smith. You can hear it from the sidelines. He's right. There's no flag, but
Bible was offside.
Yeah.
He started 58, the left tackle. He started a little bit early. Either that or he's just that much quicker than everybody else on the line. Watch the left tackle.
How do they miss that?
These days, nothing surprises me when it comes to officiating.
A 3rd down and 6. Edge pressure shown by the Lobos. Motion from Trayton Welch, an extra blocker. 4 on the play clock. Williams locked left side. Throws it up, end zone, incomplete. Looking for Crow. He was matched up with Dante Martin.
Crow almost got a second chance to get that one. He kind of tipped it up on the first attempt. Watch him get back into the corner of the end zone. Gets it up. Now here comes number 2. Oh, just off the fingertips.
It looked like Aiden Eberhard was open underneath there again. So they'll settle for a field goal try. John Hoyland is connected from 29, here from 26 to take the lead, and he converts.
But from the New Mexico standpoint, John, you give up that huge play. You've given up some big plays. But if they just result in field goals, you can live with that if you're Danny Gonzalez. You're down 13-10, and you're controlling the ball and the pace of this game so far.
Rocky Long's defense holds them to 3. We'll have more football still to come Thursday, starting at 6:30 Eastern. Conference USA matchup. The defending champs FAU Owls battle the Southern Miss Eagles. You can catch it all here on CBS Sports Network. Willie Taggart's team, they like to run the ball. Quarterback who can run some, Craig Bohl. He said that he has genuine respect for the way that Rocky Long had operated San Diego State, healthy respect for the defensive mind of Danny Gonzalez, and how New Mexico mirrored in many ways the style and success that were used at San Diego State and at Wyoming.
Yeah, those are two football coaches, and you can add Danny Gonzalez to that list. They seem so happy when they're just talking about basic football. I mean, Rocky Long is a defensive coordinator again, and he's got that twinkle back in his eye. He is as happy as you can possibly be.
And he keeps himself in amazing shape. Here's Emmanuel Logan Green. He went for 75 in his last return. And he's chopped down at around the 30. And Rocky Long, he said when he returned to Albuquerque, which he considers his home in many, many ways, he's been reminiscing and reuniting at times with some old teammates. And he said every time they tell stories of the old days, they get a little bigger, touch more grandiose.
Yeah.
But they can't check the film because it's all dissolved. Flown away in the wind. And Rocky Long could continue to tell tall tales.
They're only lies if you can prove it. And if you don't have the tape, they're just good stories.
Isaiah Chavez at quarterback. Oh, they thought Cole had it. Late option, ball loose for Bobby Wooden. Wyoming says it hasn't.
They do have it.
Rolling on the field, the runner was down prior to the fumble. Second down, New Mexico.
What do you think here, Randy?
They ruled that he was down by contact. Look, check out the ball. The helmet's on the ball. I think that ball's out before he gets to the ground. I think the helmet gets on the ball. It is loose there.
That right knee.
The ruling of the runner being down is now under further review.
Tim Crowley is our replay official in this Mountain West crew.
Now, what is he down? Does the knee hit before the ball is out? Knees down, and the ball is still in. Yeah, I think he was down by contact. I think that was a pretty good call.
That's a tough bang-bang play.
It's a bang-bang for a baseball, to use a baseball term, right?
Let's look at it as it happened live. Let's not slow it down.
You mean regular speed, like the speed the officials get to do it at?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was an excellent call.
Rolling on the field, the runner was down.
Now he's got it.
Is that ball
Is
starting
it
to come
loose
out?
right there? But the knee's down now. Yeah, you know, it's, now remember, it was called, the ball was down by contact. So unless you see indisputable proof, you've got to go with the call on the field.
And for all the Lobos' woes in this 0-5 year, they've only lost 2 fumbles all season. It was Isaiah Gandy helping to drive it free as Crawl brought him down from behind.
Yeah, that view from the back wasn't very enlightening. I don't think you saw anything from either one of those angles that would scream at them that they didn't get it right on the field.
They're taking another look. 2 turnovers in this game for New Mexico already. Did they commit a third? There was a fumble on an option pitch, an interception on a forced throw by the walk-on quarterback making his first start. And Danny Gonzalez waiting to hear word.
And there's a minute and 50 seconds here left in the second quarter, so the last thing you want to do is give him a short
Rolling
field.
on the field stands. Second down. New Mexico.
And that looks like the right call. Right?
Oh, absolutely. I think when he gets a chance to look at it, even Danny Gonzalez would tell you that there was nothing there that screamed bad call. I think the bang bang, the ball is coming loose right about the time his knee hits the ground. So, I mean, you couldn't give him the ball just based on those angles that we saw.
So minute 50 to go, 3 timeouts, decent amount of field to go for this Lobos team. Isaiah Chavez back at quarterback, play fake, he's going to throw, not a pretty ball, and flags down as he got hit.
Did he get hit in the head?
Braden Smith, the starting strong safety, made the contact.
Remember, you get contact into the face or head of a quarterback, that can turn into roughing the passer in college football pretty doggone quick.
Wyoming had not been called for a penalty on the game. And of course, targeting always an area of concern in today's game as well with anything involving the head.
Watch how and where Chavez is hit. Yeah, it's not really a vicious hit, but he yanks him up across the head.
They're offsetting fouls on the play. Personal foul, roughing the passer, offense, intentional grounding, offense, or intentional foul, intentional grounding, offense, number 13. The fouls will offset. Second down.
Oh, there's that little detail. There wasn't anybody eligible over there where he was chunking it too, huh?
That's part of it.
Roughing the passer happens there, but look over here to the left. I believe Craig Bohl, the head coach at Wyoming, was wide open, but he doesn't count.
He's got great hands, though. And so Chavez remains on the field here. You would think the pass game has to be a bigger element, considering field position and time. Yet the more running quarterback. And the feed only a few for Nate Jones. Third down is here.
Well, remember last time we saw Janal, he was coming off holding that left arm a little bit.
Right.
And the trainers were tending to him after that possession.
So Isaiah Chavez remains at quarterback. So he is the 5th string quarterback for the Lobos. That's a tough year. 3 of 6 on third down, needing 6 on this third down. Press coverage outside. Chavez to throw, tip ball incomplete. Scooped up by Wyoming and raced back.
Now that ball was not complete, but did it touch the ground? If it touched the ground, this is just for exercise.
And there's a flag down at the 20-yard line as Braden Smith raced it back for the Cowboys.
The ruling on the field is an interception by Wyoming. During the return, holding Wyoming, number 96. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Jordan Bertinoli at defensive tackle.
Now watch the pass, then the deflection.
Oh, wow.
It bounces.
Rolling of a catch is under further review.
It bounces off the guy on the ground, but never gets to the ground.
That's a heads-up play on a live ball by Braden Smith with his 2nd pick of the year.
Chavez throws that thing, and it's just a little bit behind the receiver. And because it's just a little bit behind Williams, he's got to reach back, and that's why that ball's deflected up into the air, and it doesn't hit the ground.
The Cowboys had entered with only 2 interceptions defensively on the year.
So the ball goes up. There's Williams. It's on Williams. It's on his leg. Man, is that a heads-up play or what? Talk about staying with the ball. Braden Smith, concentration. It's more than a board game. It's a way of playing football.
The ability to not only pick it up and then to hurdle the legs of the prone tight end. Now the ruling on the field, the pick, and you can feel the excitement for Braden Smith.
Well, they're trying to see if there's any reason this wasn't an interception, and to see this thing bounce up, it's on the Wyoming player, it's on Williams. No, you know, that ball never gets a chance to hit the ground. And just because it hits a player that's on the ground doesn't mean it's on the ground. It's got to actually get to the ground. That ball hit more than 2 or 3 different bodies, or 2 or 3 different times. Twice on Williams, once off his body, once off his hands. But again, remember the penalty, the holding penalty against Wyoming. So that means the ball, when they get back on the field, will be on the 30-yard line. I know one thing, if I'm the defense of New Mexico and Rocky Long, first play, I better have my P's and Q's tied up pretty good, because I would not put it past Wyoming to take a shot to the end zone here on this first play.
Well, for what it's worth, Danny Gonzalez does have his defense out there ready to defend as they're examining to confirm a pick. And it also makes you wonder, you could see the throw from Chavez, what the status is of Connor Janal, if they're purposely throwing with Chavez on a couple of plays there. And we saw some head contact there. Cade Briggs making contact against Bertinoli, and Bertinoli was the young man who was called for the hold, and it looked like instead he just took a shot to the noggin there. And perhaps some communication breakdown. Looks like they've got him a walkie-talkie system.
Well, that's pretty normal for the replay. You've always got that as a backup.
So the ruling on the field, an interception for Wyoming. Referee Christian Watson conversing with the communicator for replay official Tim Crowley. And we're also getting word they might be looking at targeting here. And look at Muma.
Well, there's definitely, with Muma 48, there's helmet-to-helmet contact.
And they can add targeting if they go to replay.
At any time.
Right.
You can add targeting. I don't agree with it if they were to call it. There wasn't much of a launch involved, and he didn't duck his head.
Chad Muma is the top tackler for Wyoming.
After further review, replay found a foul for targeting against Wyoming, number 48. That 15-yard penalty is enforced from the previous spot. First down to Mexico. Number 48 is disqualified from the game.
Now Craig Bohl loses his top tackler, the top 10 tackler in the country, who leads them in sacks and tackles for loss. So the Lobo offense
stays on the field because of the targeting call. So everything that happened after the targeting call, don't believe your lying eyes.
And the listed backup at middle linebacker for Chad Muma is the redshirt freshman Shea Suiau Noah. Now, remember, this year the player does not have to leave the sideline, can remain on the sideline, but cannot re-enter the game.
Yeah, I don't think much of that call, to be honest with you.
And now Chavez is going to throw, and an ugly incompletion. Let's take a look at the targeting call that is dismissed Muma.
Remember, it's forcible contact.
I mean, he's going for the ball there, right? Which is irrelevant, but
yeah, I mean, he's got no control of the physics that are happening to the other person either. He doesn't duck his head. He doesn't get his crown of his helmet. There's no, I don't think there's any launch there. I don't think there's any duck there.
And you have to have all elements.
Yeah,
there, right?
I don't agree with that.
Chavez remains the throwing quarterback here. The grab near the sideline and a drive out of bounds. So Janal has still not returned after he took a big shot last New Mexico possession and went off the field clutching at his left arm.
Yeah, remember what we said, though, at the very beginning of this game. New Mexico quarterbacks get hit a lot.
Right.
And that's, Danny Gonzalez was very straightforward about that. And part of that is not being a very good team. Your quarterback tends to get hit a lot when you're not very good.
Yeah, he said that we can't operate that way long term, but it's part of necessity right now to make plays and in part to also establish a culture. Chavez hit as he throws.
No, sir. No, sir.
And Cole cannot find his way to the sticks. Fourth down, what do you do?
I think you do exactly what New Mexico is doing right here. Chavez got that ball off, and he got it off very accurately. And so credit to him. That was a good blitz and a good get out.
And that blitz came from Suianoa, who took the place of Muma, middle linebacker, the redshirt freshman. Dyer to punt. Strong hang time. Crow won't have a chance to get to it. Down by the Lobos at around the 17. Wyoming called a couple of timeouts in the relatively early stage of the game, including one before a first down snap on offense. Only one timeout, 24 seconds.
Yeah, it's amazing how often you see that come back to kind of bite football teams. But you've got a strong-armed quarterback. You've got an offensive line that's doing a really nice job. You know, you're a good ways away from any kind of field goal position. Here's the best idea going. It's 13-10. Take this into the locker room and get to the chalkboard, or I should say the whiteboard these days with your markers, and see what's been going on.
Well, the veteran head coach knows he's getting the ball to begin the second. Take that lead on the road in a first half that saw New Mexico spring to life. Not seen a ton this year. Winless football team suffering the longest active losing streak in the FBS.
It's worth saying it's a half dominated by New Mexico, but Wyoming does have a field goal lead here.
13-10 Wyoming at the break. In a moment, we'll send you back to our CBS Sports Network studio in New York. The Ram Trucks halftime report with Brent Stover, Houston Nutt, and Kevin Carter. You're watching college football presented by the Home Depot. Welcome on back to Las Vegas. Wyoming the lead over New Mexico 13-10 as we are getting set for the start of the second. John Sadak alongside the College Football Hall of Famer in Randy Cross. The Lobos continue to lick their wounds. They are down to their fifth string quarterback, Connor Janal, injured his left wrist, will not return.
Yeah, he won't be coming back. He's now in a sling / air cast looking thing, and the left arm right there, as he sees, he kind of breaks his fall. He gets up holding his left wrist. Well, he's now in a little bit of an apparatus, and that means Bryson Carroll now, number 6, is the backup quarterback to Chavez. And it was probably at halftime. My guess is the offensive coaches, he's not too worried about it, obviously. He's nice and relaxed, but I'm guessing the offensive coaches spent a little bit of halftime installing a mini package just in case he has to play.
He has thrown 2 passes this year. He is a converted quarterback.
Well, they were both touchdowns, so he's got a heck of a percent.
Dante Crow will take a chance. And Crow Gets just beyond the 20 as we examine the McDonald's first half stats. What stands out to you?
Well, the 2 turnovers, if you were to tell me that New Mexico turned it over 2 times, I'd say they'd given up at least 10 points off turnovers. Well, you know what? It only cost them 1 field goal, only cost them 3 points. Look at that time of possessions. There's still 5 minutes up on New Mexico.
Does the injury at quarterback for New Mexico in any way change Wyoming's approach offensively?
Attack and worry about the run. Don't worry about the pass if you're Wyoming.
Trey Smith does run and only gets a yard. Yeah, New Mexico is fairly slight up front. They went for quickness over girth, part of the 3-3-5 system of Rocky Long, but he confessed they're a little too light for his liking, and yet they are hanging with a really good offensive line.
Yeah, you know, when there's openings, there's big openings, and that usually happens. See, you got 3 down linemen, and then you've got 4 other guys that are kind of milling around, stunning and blitzing in and out up front.
Levi Williams throws right to New Mexico and Jarek Reed, the starting Wolf safety who leads the Mountain West in picks, takes his total to 4.
Rolling on the field, an interception. First down.
Actually, not much pressure on Williams. They do a stunt up front, and when they do, Williams is trying to throw the ball out here. Detail, there's none of his receivers actually get in that area he's throwing the ball. Never a good sign when your receivers are looking back towards your sideline, shrugging like, hey, what's up?
And Levi Williams is now 1 of 6 passing with that pick. And to your point, you had just said, focus on running the ball. New Mexico will do that. Running out of the arm tackle. Shoe pops off of Bryson Carroll, who gets the carry, and he is the backup quarterback currently, the 6th quarterback on the depth chart. This is 2020, man.
Yeah, it is in a nutshell. This is about to, you lose one more quarterback, you're going to turn into a fat man's fantasy camp. You're going to have all the linemen volunteering to be playing quarterback.
Do you ever throw a ball at all in your days?
Yeah, when I entered high school, I was a quarterback.
I never knew that.
Yes, briefly.
And that O-line thing seemed to work out pretty well.
Yeah, my coach had a better idea. He wasn't wrong.
Chavez angled out of bounds. I mean, once in a while between, you know, Joe had to have some days where he
my freshman year, in my defense, my freshman year, at the start of my freshman year, I was 5'8" and 185 pounds and thought I was a quarterback. End of the 9th grade, I was 6'1" and about 200 pounds. So I turned into an old lineman pretty quickly.
That's a lot of milkshakes.
It's a lot of time on heating pads because your joints are killing you from growing too fast, too.
One high safety here. Backside pressure. The option pitch. And nowhere for Bobby Cole to go.
Wow, really nice job by that Wyoming defense dealing with that option. You don't see that kind of discipline that often, but look at Krall, 88, the defensive end. He won't be faked out. He won't overcommit. He's got the quarterback. And now you got 3 defenders just waiting to devour the running back when that ball is pitched. That's how you play the option.
Moving really well for a young man that had 3 foot surgeries in advance of this season. See if Tyson Dyer can pin Dante Crow. Well, the play clock expiring. Flag is out.
There's no big deal to that. That just gives you a little bit extra room to kick into. I mean, you weren't going to try a field goal. From here, it's a 55-yard field goal.
Delay a game. Offense, number 96. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Christian Watson the call, and Tyson Dyer the punter. He is the oldest student athlete in the Mountain West. Australia native, 28 years of age. He's top 10 in the country among active punters career. in terms of yardage. This more about placement than distance. Strong hang time, fair catch wave. Brought in with contact at the 10.
That's fair catch. Over. That's fair catch interference.
Yep.
Kick catch interference. Kicking team, number 48. 15-yard penalty added to the kick. First down, Wyoming. Timeout on the field.
That's about as classic an example of fair catch interference you could ask for. Now that's how you interfere.
Want to stay up to date? Just tell Siri, show me college football rankings.
And we take a look at the college football playoff poll powered by Ram Trucks. Alabama thumping LSU. Clemson taming Virginia Tech.
Say, Iowa State, what they did to West Virginia today was pretty impressive too. That 42-6 game. And Coastal Carolina further down in the top 20. Going to be moving up with a bullet.
A big-time impromptu matchup after Liberty had a bail and BYU dipped in for a battle of unbeatens.
I got a question for Siri. Why would the long snapper run into the returner?
That is a good question. Levi Williams keeping here and gashing the defense. Patrick Peak takes him out after 13.
And that's effective. It's effective for a really good reason. Their running game's working. Smith has been running the ball effectively, and when you have this option and the threat of your quarterback keeping the ball, you know, outside of taking a few extra shots, it's a great part of the offense, and they are not adverse to exposing their quarterback to a hit or two.
Blitz is on. They pick it up. Williams throws, go up and grab it. Trayton Welch, the tight end, the one-handed grab. He'll be short by a little more than 2.
Yeah, it's a tight end middle screen that's pretty well executed with everything else that's going on up front. And it's well executed mainly because of the grab and the hand. I would say hands, but there weren't hands involved there. That was all hand.
So here's second and short. Trey Smith. And he's going to be short by a little less than a yard. You know, third down, they're going to trot on another tight end here. And Tate Weinman, what do you think?
I like it. Now remember what they did just earlier with Williams keeping the ball. Now you get Smith. Well, he's not going to have. It's going to be only one running back, and he's under center. Last time it was a sneak, and there's an opening in the middle.
They're 1 of 5 on third down. Trey Smith gets stood up, gets pushed back. Another pop by Rico Hanna.
How about that?
He had the stop last time.
How about that tackle, John, by Rico Hanna?
Fourth down.
Young man was a JUCO All-American. He had the denial on fourth down and short when they went for it.
See, look at this right here. That's what I was talking about. Why not sneak forward? Now, granted, they're going to squeeze a little bit there, but I tell you, Hanna does a beautiful job. They stuff things a little bit inside, and Hanna makes it all not work on from the outside.
Nick Null punts. Emmanuel Logan Green, fair catch wave. And the Lobos have the ball back. A big-time denial on third down as Trey Smith stalled shy, and the Lobos back on offense. The New Mexico defense has come to play tonight.
They have this on fourth down. They stuff Williams. Then they take advantage of Williams throwing the ball where only he thought it belonged. And then Hanna again with a great play coming off the edge on fourth down, or on third down, just stuffing Wyoming again.
Wyoming is 1 of 6 on third down, 0 for 1 on fourth down. And Rocky Long's defense on the year was dead last in the Mountain West. 49% they allowed the opponent to convert on third down entering the night.
Run the ball. If you're not going to boot and waggle with this quarterback, run the ball.
They will do just that. Nate Jones gets good push. Isaiah Gandy rips him down a yard plus shy.
You know, it's not fancy. It doesn't impress a lot of people, but really what you have, you know, if you're Danny Gonzalez, is you've got a quarterback that runs the ball pretty decent, that knows how to run the option, and is frankly not a very good thrower of the ball. You've got to run the ball. You got to put this game on your O-line.
Cole doesn't have any wiggle there. Contact from Jordan Burton-Anoli. So third down arrives. Keeping in mind a lot of moving parts here. Connor Jadal became the third different starting quarterback of the year. The fourth stringer in spring ball. He started. He's out. Injured his left wrist. Will not return. Wearing an impromptu air cast on the sidelines. Isaiah Chavez, the fifth stringer, is now the primary quarterback due to a barrage of injuries.
Heat this quarterback up. Blitz, stunts, mandatory.
Marcus Williams motions. Chavez going to run it. And he gets turned aside. He will be shy. You're down a field goal. You aren't really moving the ball. Would you dare take a chance at your side of the field here?
I'm caught somewhere between heck no and no. I would say punt. It's not a bad possession right here if you're punting the ball, giving the ball back to Wyoming, and letting your defense do some more of their work.
Fourth down, less than a yard. Tyson Dyer to punt, and Dante Crow at his own 40 to try to return it. Bit of a low snap. Dyer booms it. Crow. Fair catch wave, and no contact on the fair catch this time around. The Wyoming Cowboys have had trouble continuing drives. Levi Williams back to the field. Back in Las Vegas, Cowboys up 13-10 as we take a look at tonight's QB comparison, brought to you by Sonic.
Yeah, a lot of good running in this game, John. What do you think? So far, the throwing side's been a little wanting.
And it has a pick for Levi Williams. We've got 54 of those yards on one pass. We've seen Chad Muma, the top tackler for Wyoming, ejected due to targeting. We saw the fourth string quarterback become the first walk-on to start for New Mexico in 20 years, get hurt.
Who was 6 of 8 throwing when he got hurt. So, I mean, of everybody in this game playing quarterback, he threw the ball the best.
Levi Williams going to throw here. It's just his third completion, connecting with Dante Crow.
You can say a lot of things, and obviously this New Mexico, football team is 0-5, but they're having fun. I mean, that's one thing that's really striking me here between these two teams. And Wyoming's the better team, but they're not having anywhere near as much fun as New Mexico is right now.
And Wyoming in Las Vegas for a second straight week. Trey Smith gets a few. The Cowboys obliterated UNLV last week. It snapped a 7-game road losing streak. They'd only lost those 7 in a row by a little more than 6 points per. Now they're trying to make it back-to-back road wins against Danny Gonzalez's team, playing in Las Vegas for its home games. Shotgun 4 wide on third down. New Mexico showing blitz. Here comes the pressure. Williams. Little behind his man. Incomplete. Intended for Crow.
Yeah, it's into the blitz side. They were bringing the pressure off the defensive right. The offense's left. Williams is trying to throw in that same direction. Did a really nice job of defending it, and honestly, he just threw that ball behind his receiver. That was not a very good pass.
3 of 9 passing. Nick Null to punt. Emmanuel Logan Green lets it bound, kicks out of play. A field position game. Defense has been paramount after the 39-yard punt, a field goal affair.
College football on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by the Home Depot. How doers get more done. By McDonald's. And by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups.
Bathed in neon. Isn't it gorgeous?
Yeah, it sure is. Guys, one of the more disturbing billboards in America is in this city, though.
What's that?
Does your room face the Carrot Top
I've seen
billboard?
I've seen it, yeah.
That's not pretty. It's not a good look.
More Picasso than it is fine art.
Yeah.
Some of the big sights here in Las Vegas. And Cole right on through the seam. Shades of what New Mexico showed in the early stage of the game.
Look at the job inside. Shipley at center. Really, really nice. And that's one broken tackle away from going the distance. Cole would have been banging his head on the goalpost.
The young man's first career carry was a 37-yard touchdown run against Notre Dame. Split backfield. Trying to read the defense. The keeper there for Chavez. New Mexico wearing a slightly different helmet tonight, a darker tone to it. And these helmets wouldn't have come about without the work of many. It's all hands on deck and stickers affixed to the helmets throughout a good portion of yesterday. That includes the equipment men who would normally handle it are now in uniform. It's been all hands on deck for the team, so the PR staff had been helping out to get the helmets ready, and Bobby Wooden gets another carry, third down. Third down and 3 for the Lobos.
Now you're in a passing formation. Now is that passing look to set up the run, or are you really going to throw it?
And there it's Nate Jones who will get right to about the marker. They will move the chains, first down. But it feels like for New Mexico, the passing game for Chavez is so limited. How do they create the sustained drive or that big play? You're down a field goal and you're down your starting quarterback today in Connor Janal.
You need to crease those edges. You've got to get that contained guy like Crawl, hem him in and let the quarterback roll and create.
Play fake, Chavez. Takes a long heave, incomplete, looking for Andrew Erickson.
He had Erickson. Erickson had some space. I mean, if that ball's on target, that's 6 points.
Chavez dubbed the best and most consistent wide receiver for the Lobos by the head man Danny Gonzalez. Chavez, he led Rio Rancho High School to the state title game last year before becoming a preferred walk-on to his hometown university. Lot of room for Bobby Cole. Ripped out of the ground by Braden Smith.
And that is exactly what this team needs to do. Great formation. It loads left. They adjust. Wyoming does. They adjust by moving linebackers to the right of the defense, and they go to the other side where the extra defender isn't. They got the numbers to the right. They run to the right.
36 yards there. Cole again. Suiau Noah, part of the contact. They're in the red zone, and tonight's red zone brought to you by Verizon. The Lobos below 50%. Trying to get touchdowns, their first journey into the red zone of the evening.
Well, New Mexico has now run for 171 yards in this game.
there is Bryson Carroll into the contest at running back alongside Chavez. Remember, Carroll can throw. Instead, Carroll will run. And he rumbles to the 6.
Well, just a nice job, too. You know, Stapley at center, Austin Cook at left guard, Cade Briggs at left tackle. Look at the hole.
And here he takes it out of his belly. And that was very prone.
Ooh. That was a gentleman by the name of Crawl at left end, doing a very nice job on that play. You'll see him. He's going to line up in between the guard and the tackle.
4th down and the offense on the field. You agree with this? Are they trying to get him to jump?
I don't know what. I would kick a field goal and tie the game right here.
Right? Danny Gonzalez told us he would be very aggressive. They are on the ground. Bobby Cole.
I mean, it's short, I believe, of the 5-yard line.
Wyoming saying they stopped them.
I think we're going back the other way. They needed to get to the 5, and they're short.
On the field, Warner was tackled short of the line again. 1st down, Wyoming.
And Wyoming stops New Mexico on 4th down.
I mean, I understand the mentality. You're 0-5. You're playing a team that traditionally has been really good. He's got to get to the 5-yard line. Does the ball get there? No, it doesn't. It's a foot the other side of the 5-yard line. That is not a 1st down. And they turn the ball over on downs and don't kick the field goal to tie the game.
Easton Gibbs gets the stop, but now Wyoming starts a drive at its own 5.
Well, they've started drives in the past on the 4, and it ended up being in more good field position for New Mexico.
Split backfield. Trey Smith. They fly to the football.
Yeah, New Mexico does. You talked about their size, and you know we've talked a lot about their lack of size. They are quick and they are tenacious and they blitz and they stunt and they sprint to the ball.
You're playing tonight without Nico Bolden. Young man who's had the most forced fumbles by any Lobo in 8 years. Isaiah Nayor, he's their big play. Weapon and Nayor. With the rush, Patrick Peak trying to knock it free, trips him up inside of the 35.
And when New Mexico had the ball, we talked about formations, giving you a bad look. Well, that formation gave them a bad luck. They used a tight end, an H-back motion with a block back that set Nayor up. Man, that was a nice block by Welch, the tight end, coming in motion, H motion across the formation. Everything else was going right except for Welch.
That was his first career carry. Following up with the power of Trey Smith, and he pinballs off a few Lobos. Cameron Miller part of the contact there on Smith.
So much for field position.
And the chunk plays can arrive for Wyoming. And the final seconds are going to fade here on the quarter. 4 fingers in the air. Wyoming on the road in the lead and on the drive through 3. You're watching college football on CBS Sports Network, presented by the Home Depot. Las Vegas, the temporary home of the New Mexico Lobos. They've been here for a shade more than a month. They are winless on the campaign, suffering the longest active losing streak in major college football. Had a chance to kick a chippy field goal and tie the game. Went for it on 4th down, did not get it. Wyoming on the subsequent drive, play fake. Levi Williams. threads it to Trayton Welch in tight coverage, first down.
Yeah, nice little rollout pass. Confidence pass. Give Williams a chance to get a nice completion. The defense sure bit on that fake. And that gives Welch a chance to come across the defense inside the linebackers.
Levi Williams has had inconsistent results throwing the football today. Just 4 of 10, but seems to be heating up a bit. Feeds to Trey Smith. And that run game, Corey Hightower on the contact.
Well, I mean, that's 20 carries now for Trey Smith, and he's now north of 140 yards rushing. That's your best offensive weapon right there. I mean, obviously you like Nayor and the big shot and the big play down the field, but Trey Smith's the guy. Ride your big dog. Just keep pounding him with him.
First down and goal. Keeper here. New Mexico able to sniff that one out. Jarek Reed, who was a pick in the game, part of the pair to Papa. Levi Williams, a pro-style quarterback, Smith in high school in Texas. His first career start came in the Arizona Bowl. That was a win against Georgia State. Had his first 300-yard game at Colorado State, a loss suffered in their first game in November. Play fake. Williams, end zone. Incomplete. Defense swarming there against Aiden Everhart, their top pass catcher by volume.
Yeah, it was really a nice effort. Back there by Patrick Peak. We've seen him make a couple of nice plays. Peak gets that right hand in there and just bats that ball away.
So third and goal. And only one conversion on third down all night for the Cowboys. Pressure on. Williams. Tip ball incomplete. Tavian Combs, the freshman, would love to have that one back for the Lobos.
And Wyoming will kick this field goal and make this a 6-point game. Good pressure by New Mexico. They make Williams make that decision a little bit sooner than he wants to. Pretzer gets right there in his kitchen, does a nice job of not roughing the quarterback and pulling off.
John Hoyland is hit from 26 and 29. He'll try from 26 again as a Cowboy late just got on the left side of the line. To lengthen the lead. Another field goal make. This drive began all the way back at the 5. Denying the Lobos on fourth down. And they go the field and get 3 more. John Hoyland's third field goal make has Wyoming up 16-10. Time for tonight's Geico difference makers. Trey Smith doing it on the ground.
Hey, he really is. His offensive line up front is doing a heck of a job. And on the same token, on the other side, Bobby Cole at running back has been very, very impressive. On less carries, he's doing a heck of a job.
He has seen some giant holes that have opened at times. For Trey Smith, a lot of his activities come in between the tackles. He is averaging over 7 yards a carry on the game. They're without Xavier Valladay, who did not travel, injured in the early stage of the blowout win against UNLV last week. It's back-to-back weeks in Vegas for Wyoming. Nick Null, the kick. Emmanuel Logan Green from his 3.5. He can be explosive, runs out of a tackle, flags out. He gets surrounded and corralled at the 28.
That's either a hold or a push in the back right there. It's going to be against New Mexico. They'll be backing up.
There have been 5 penalties in the game so far, 4 of them on the Lobos.
During the return, holding, return team, number 98, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down, New Mexico.
Goes on Joey Noble, who is the best defensive lineman for Danny Gonzalez's team.
That tells you something too. If you got your best defensive lineman and he's on special teams, that's kind of making everybody be held responsible on special teams. I think it's a great idea for most programs.
It's a first-year head coach who did not inherit a great situation. They're 0-5, but they've lost 14 consecutive games. There, Bryson Carroll breaks the plane to the 20. The Lobos have suffered 14 straight setbacks. That's the longest active losing streak in the FBS. They've lost 20 straight conference games, 26 of their last 27 in the Mountain West.
Cole comes in, Carroll comes out. As long as it's consistently the same kind of play calling, the same kind of motion that's giving this Wyoming defense problems. Cutting against the grain, against the motion.
Wooden motions into the backfield. Chavez reading the defense, feeds Wooden. They were trying to stretch the defense with the wide out. He gets a few. That'll be good to move the chains. First down for the Lobos.
Yeah, really important for this New Mexico offense to stay on the field a little bit here. Getting into this fourth quarter, going to be getting ready to get under 12 minutes. That defense been on the field a minute. The time of possession is starting to get a lot more even in this game.
Stiff arm. Nate Jones. He earns about 3.
That's a nice job by Isaias Gandy, the safety, coming up and making that tackle. That's always a sign. You get a team that's pretty good, that's being challenged hard by a team like this, like New Mexico. When your tackling starts getting better, that's always a great sign for the superior opponent.
Jay Sawbell told us they really like to use Gandy around the box, helping to pressure quarterbacks and contain the run game right at the line of scrimmage. Big blitz pickup. Chavez hammered as he throws, and he overshoots Andrew Erickson. He's showing toughness. He's standing in there. Young man, a true freshman.
Yeah, it's one of those character traits or football traits you don't always want to know about, especially if you're down to your 5th quarterback, is his ability to take a hit.
Right.
You would rather he doesn't get beat up too bad.
Unfortunately, that's something they've had to learn about all their quarterbacks this year, who have exuded toughness, but they probably had the most 2020 season of them all. Chavez forced to step up, spins off contact and sheer force of will. That's a tough run for a first down.
That was a nice planned spin. As he steps up, watch him approach contact. He's spinning before he ever gets to the contact. And Wyoming couldn't bring him down, couldn't negate that spin. Nice job up front by Teton Saltes, the right tackle, getting physical and nasty.
Motion from Austin Erickson. Cole, heck of a job getting low. Garrett Krall, who continues to make plays.
You know, I mentioned Teton Saltes, the offensive tackle. Talk about a well-rounded kid. We mentioned he's in law school. How about the stuff he does off the field? And he says it's direct reflection on how he was raised. But man, you got to give this kid credit with everything he does and all the load and everything he's got on his plate. He's amazing what he accomplishes off the field for charity.
Fighting for children's rights and those of Native Americans. Bobby Wooden.
And you've got a guy with high character. When you talk to a young man, he's very respectful, and he's having fun. going to law school. I don't know if I've ever talked to anybody. I know a lot of people that are attorneys and a lot of people that have gone to law school. I don't know if I've ever talked to somebody that talks about how much fun law school is.
Well, he has a unique situation, right? He's got a lot of free time.
Well, yeah. He's locked in a hotel away from home.
At least it gets the brain moving. Here's 3rd and 4. Chavez, the hot throw, and then short and incomplete, looking for Marcus Williams.
That was a nice job by Bobby Cole picking up that blitz and dealing with it really well. He stopped that blitzer cold in his tracks before he get anywhere near his quarterback.
So you got 9 minutes, 17 seconds to go. Yes, on the game, the Lobos have owned time of possession, but Wyoming is known for methodical, long drives. You almost wonder how many more times you're going to get the football.
Well, and tonight, ironically, it's been their big plays that have been the difference.
Dyer's punt, fair catch wave, brought in inside the 10 by Dante Crow. 48-yard punt, no chance to run it back. And the Lobos running out of time tonight. Wyoming leading against host New Mexico in Las Vegas, 16-10. As we revisit your keys, how they holding up?
Yeah, we discussed pound and squeeze, and they've been pounding, and now is the time for squeeze when it comes for Wyoming. And, you know, the Lobos have basically cut across every grain. They've played really well on the defensive side because they haven't limited explosive plays, but they've limited touchdowns. When they've given up big explosive plays, a lot of the times those have ended up in field goals. But if I'm Wyoming right now, I give it to 7 until his tongue starts dragging on the ground.
And they feed Trey Smith on the first play. He gets a couple of yards. Coming up next, join the Inside College Football crew as they keep you updated on everything happening around the nation and deliver the top headlines of the day right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
A heck of a day of college football to wrap up. Lots of highlights. Heck, lots of highlights if you just do the Alabama game.
You have your top 4 change at all based on today? How's it holding up?
No, I don't think so. I think the top 4 is pretty static, personally.
Levi Williams angled out of bounds by Rico
Florida looked good. A&M looks good. But, you know, without teams losing up top, and even if, you know, Notre Dame and Clemson meet in that ACC championship game, and right now they're looking at what, 2-4? Alabama 1, Notre Dame 2, Ohio State 3. Clemson 4. Even if Clemson beats Notre Dame, I don't think Notre Dame drops out of the top 4.
And you're a believer in Ohio State no matter what game's played?
Yes. Yes, I am. That's one of the best teams in the country, period. With one of the best players in the country in Justin Fields.
4th down, Trey Smith stopped a yard shy.
Perfect job by this New Mexico defense. They're not big, they're not strong. They run this scheme extremely well, and they've got their offense the ball back.
Nick Knoll just gets that one off. Not a very pretty punt. Dangerous attempt to grab it. Loose, scooped up by the Lobos. Patrick Peak. Did he go out of bounds there? He does now. Knocked out of bounds by Eberhard.
That was an adventure. That was an attempted catch of a punt that was coming up short.
The rolling on the field is a return man made a fair catch signal. Therefore, the ball is dead. As soon as he possesses it, it'll be New Mexico's ball.
Well,
First down.
He didn't possess it, but he touched it. When New Mexico touched it and caught the ball in the air. Yeah, the New Mexico coaches mentioned to us that special teams, especially the punt return game, has been a bit of an adventure. And right there, where Peak catches that ball in the air, that's where they're going to put the ball for New Mexico.
7:16 to go.
It was a quick little, it wasn't a bad fair catch signal. It was a clear, flashing fair catch signal.
Field position nonetheless still outstanding.
So watch the wave. It's not long. There it is right there. But it goes from his hands to his chest to his hands again up in the air. And that's when Peak gets involved. But as soon as Peak possesses the ball, that's where the ball is going to be spotted.
Only a 28-yard punt. And Isaiah Chavez and company made good on this outstanding field position. Cole. A purposeful pause. Did not quite see a hole erupt. And keep in mind, 6-point game. New Mexico elected to go for it on 4th down. They were in position for a chip shot field goal.
Should be a 3-point game.
Right.
It's always important to remember the points you don't take, because invariably they do come back and bite you on the backside.
Bobby Wooden late subs in. Austin Erickson off. Wooden will set up in the right slot, bottom of the screen. Chavez barking out commands. Wooden into the backfield, only 2 on the play clock. Nope. Have to call a timeout.
Yeah, timeout for New Mexico.
Timeout. New Mexico, first charge of the half.
We'll step aside as well. This is an important possession for a winless Lobos team. It's been 2 years since New Mexico won a conference game in this stadium. It was against UNLV. Sharon Jones transfer with time at Tennessee. 4 touchdowns thrown. They hung 50 on the Rebels. Since then, it's been 20 consecutive conference losses. That is the longest active string of difficulty in major college football. Danny Gonzalez trying to turn things around at his alma mater. Out of a New Mexico called timeout, you believe, Randy, you said at break, this could be the last time the Lobos see the ball.
That's how I'd approach this possession. You probably won't see the ball again if you give back to Wyoming.
Chavez, wide open, Cole makes the catch! And the running back, Bobby Cole, with his 4th grab of the year, goes 44 yards, touchdown Lobos.
Well, if you like unbridled youthful exuberance, you got to be nuts about Chavez's reaction to that touchdown pass. Concentrate on the left hash mark, and how all alone, it's just a little circle route out of the backfield by Bobby Cole, and he is wide open. No one even gets close to him.
Derek Wareheim, OC, drew it up. Now Donovan Mercury gives them the lead. The 5th string quarterback, Isaiah Chavez. He gets his first touchdown. Bobby Cole takes it to the house, and the Lobos can taste victory. They own the lead. Lobos lead by a point. Unbridled joy for Isaiah Chavez after this touchdown pass.
I mean, it was perfectly drawn up. Wyoming did not execute very well defensively. Cole does a beautiful job. You know, if you don't like this, we can't be friends. I mean, I don't care. That is somebody having, that is unbridled joy. You've lost 20 conference games in a row. That's your 0-5. And you make that kind of a play to take a 1-point lead over an opponent like Wyoming.
And a local kid, walk-on 5th string quarterback, seeing the field thanks to a barrage of injuries. How can Wyoming answer? Dante Crow, big time return. Tripped up at the 45-yard line. Spectacular run back as Michael Levette III chips him after 39 yards.
Yeah, just a beautiful job of setting up the blocks just perfectly. And then after getting the blocks, then cutting against the grain. And Now for Wyoming, be you. You do you. You don't have to turn into the greatest show on turf because you're down by a point here. You got 6 minutes and 13 seconds to go. You know, Levi Williams and this offense, just be powerful, be methodical, and be the same team that came into this game.
Two running backs out there, McNeely and Smith, and a flag.
Delay game. Offense, number 15. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And the New Mexico sideline went crazy. No fans here, so we can hear them up on in the booth on the other side of the field, and they are let loose.
And that was the play clock ran out off of a possession, off of a kickoff. That should never happen.
Run for Williams, and what pursuit by the Lobos. Brandon Shook, one of the top tacklers in the FBS. Entered averaging over 11 tackles a game. That's just outside the top 10.
Heck, he had 19 in the last game.
19 tackles against Air Force. Only played special teams against Hawaii thanks to a foot injury. The chant of defense with the helmet slaps.
That's the defense leading the cheer. That is the cheering section.
Williams on second down is going to be sacked. Swung down by Ben Gonzalo.
They can smell it. Williams might have gotten dinged on that sack. He's holding that right arm awful gingerly.
Athletic trainers rush out. Loss of 7, and it could be more than that with Williams back on the ground and athletic trainers around him.
Good defense down the field and enabled Gonzalo to get there. And there's nothing malicious or dirty about the way he takes him down. He just twists him to the ground.
And remember, Williams is starting because Sean Chambers got hurt on the 3rd play in the season opener, suffered a broken leg against Nevada, or excuse me, broken ankle against Nevada. Broke his ankle against Air Force in 18, had left knee surgery based on contact against Nevada in 2019, and his left fibula on the 3rd play of the season this year. So Gavin Bierup is loosening, the true freshman, who was only made the backup last week, has not thrown a ball in a game, doesn't have a carry. Ryan Marcus, wide receiver, had been the emergency quarterback because Bierup was part of a giant group of 20-plus freshmen that had, between COVID positives and contact tracing in their living arrangements, been unavailable to practice.
Yeah, there's something wrong with Williams, and he won't be back anytime soon from the looks of him coming off the field.
Hey, fellas, hey, focus in. It's finished, it's finished, it's finished.
That was the New Mexico head coach, Danny Gonzalez, on the stadium speaker.
Might have been coming off maybe an official's mic or something.
I think so.
But he's got a good point. That's the most important thing if you're New Mexico here, is you want to finish. You've gotten a great start to this possession. You got him in 3rd and long against a quarterback who is yet to throw a pass, a true freshman.
Gavin Bierup. Bierup throws. The grab by Everhart with the defender down. Gets some help from his friends. They stop him at the 45. A gain of 19. It's 4th down here. Need about 2.
4th and 2.
You agree with this?
Oh, heck yeah. In this situation, yes. I don't see where Bowles got much of a choice here.
They're 0 for 1 on 4th down. They're 1 for 10 on 3rd down. With the freshman at quarterback, Rocky Long showing blitz. And they fooled him! It's Vera, the quarterback. Not just the first down, he's inside of the 10.
Remember what we talked about with that quarterback run? It's got to be a legitimate threat. How much of a threat is 38 yards in that situation on 4th down? Nice job of riding that fake with Trey Smith. He rode the fake so well that the defense just didn't react. I don't know if he was tackled as much as he'd kind of had enough.
No Moss. On the ground, Trey Smith. So Bierup enters, connects on an 18-yard pass, runs for 38. Now under 4 minutes. With the compressed area of the field here, you're looking to the ground another couple of times.
Oh, right? I would sure think so. And what's the worst case scenario? You run a bunch of time off the clock and you kick a field goal?
Right. Bierup with the blitz on, ball free from Trey Smith, and the Lobos have it. They turn over the running back, Trey Smith, and it's New Mexico ball up a point. The 0-5 Lobos, who have lost 14 consecutive games, have the football. Jake Saltonstall, his second fumble recovery of the year.
How about the penetration on that play? Trey Smith gets hit just as the ball's put in there. I mean, he's getting hit in the backfield by Shook right after the handoff. Here comes Shook. Shook gets the hand on the ball and knocks it out. Wow. And you think this football team isn't hungry? What an unbelievable reaction.
Only the 4th lost fumble of the year for the Cowboys. Now they do have 3 timeouts. Run there for Cole. There is still a decent amount of time left, but
there's 3 minutes and you've got 3 timeouts.
But you also have a totally unproven quarterback with Williams hurt.
Well, that's a valid point, but I kind of liked what I saw already.
Yeah.
You know, that calm under pressure with that quarterback run, that pass to get those 19 yards to set up that 4th down.
Bryson Carroll is in. Remember, he can run. He's the running back, sidecar right.
Here comes one of the 3 timeouts as soon as this tackle's made.
Carroll gets to the 11. They're going to let it roll here. You disagree?
Well, I'm just kind of surprised you didn't waste one there. Get a stop here on 3rd down. There'll be one after the 3rd down.
New Mexico 5 of 13 on 3rd down, but quite content to watch as much time as possible peel away. The Lobos currently suffering the longest active losing streak in college football. Wooden trying to loop around. Isaiah Scandy, outstanding pursuit. Going to lose a couple here. So Wyoming calls timeout. 2 timeouts left for the Cowboys.
Timeout. Wyoming. First charge of the half. 30-second timeout.
Yeah, either way that this thing goes, it's been a heck of a show when you think about these 2 running backs, Trey Smith and Cole. Cole's done a really nice job, but the most, I think, amazing would not be an overworked word, is the performance of this defense by New Mexico. I mean, they're not very big. They're not particularly fast. They're a great scheme under Rocky Long, but the way that this defense has played against a clearly superior opponent in Wyoming, I think Wyoming is very much so the better team in this game. And still, they're trailing by a point. But they're about to get their offense the ball back with some pretty good field position and 2 timeouts left. So This thing is far from over, even with an untested quarterback.
Dyer's punt, fair catch wave by Crow. Cowboys get the ball, 2 timeouts, down a point at the New Mexico 44-yard line.
And I would emphasize at this point, not to be a wet blanket, don't forget that field goal that New Mexico didn't kick.
Right.
I mean, realistically, as great as that play was, this should be 20-16. So Wyoming should need a touchdown to win this game, not a field goal.
Wyoming without Levi Williams winced as he walked off the field after getting swung down on the sack. John Hoyland has hit 3 chippy field goals in the game, none more than 29 tonight. Gavin Vera fires a little short for Isaiah Nayor. Incomplete. Hoyland is hit from as long as 42. That was against Nevada. Hoyland continues to warm. He only got that shot because Luke Glassock, a redshirt freshman, suffered a pulled groin the week of the season opener. Craig Ball, who also handles the kickers, didn't even know Hoyland's last name. He knew him as John the Kicker when he sent him out there.
Well, they're 20 yards from a John kick.
After the long load, another short throw for Gavin Vera, 3rd down. And you can feel with that deep breath, Vera trying to calm himself a bit. What can you do as a young quarterback in this situation?
Well, exactly what he did, and execute. I mean, you practice these situations. Now, he has probably not practiced much in this situation, but that's the old mental reps.
He literally didn't practice much because of contact tracing. He was out for 3 weeks. 3rd down and 10. Play fake. He's going to throw again off the pump. Vera takes a shot, one-on-one. Everhart tip ball incomplete. 4th down. The New Mexico Lobos have not won a conference game in 2 years. Earlier today, Akron, losers of 21 in a row, snapped the nation's longest active losing streak. It now belongs to the Lobos, and it comes down to this.
Vera put that ball right where it needed to be. It bounced off the chest of his receiver.
Cowboy team known for its run game, looking to a true freshman who had not thrown a pass before tonight. Vera pressure on the roll. He needs 10. He throws, taken away, intercepted by Shook. And the Lobo sidelines go crazy.
Well, Levi Williams, the starter for Wyoming, got away with a lot of throws across his body back into the middle of the field. One of those sort of unwritten rules you should usually try not to do if you're a young quarterback, especially. And Vera tries to do one of those and throws it right into the linebacker's hands, and Shook comes away with the biggest play in this New Mexico program's 2020 season.
So the Lobo offense hits the field after Shook comes up with a giant play. And there's a lot of room for Cole, shielding the football wisely.
And staying in bounds.
By Braden Smith, yeah.
Staying in bounds. A lot of the time, that's a smart move by Cole. A lot of the times you see running backs kind of bounce it off to the outside and go out of bounds. Great job staying in bounds.
21 yards. The veteran coach, a homecoming of sorts. Granted, it's in Las Vegas.
Keeping your head while those around you lose theirs. That's Rocky Long on that New Mexico sideline.
Wyoming 2 timeouts, play clock at 5. Cole loses a few. We'll get a timeout here.
Timeout. Wyoming. That's the second charge of the half. 30-second timeout.
Tonight's player of the game brought to you by Old Trapper Beef Jerky.
How about the game that Bobby Cole has had in this game? He's got 22 carries right now, 131 yards rushing, but his biggest play, that little simple circle route he ran out of the backfield for the go-ahead touchdown.
Winless New Mexico, using its fifth-string quarterback most of the night after the fourth-string quarterback got hurt. Both walk-ons. And Bobby Cole doing the lion's share of the work with the carries offensively. That young man started the game at quarterback, and he's wearing a big broad smile along with that brace. A bent knee from Chavez. Wyoming, only one timeout left.
Timeout. Wyoming. That's the third and final timeout of the half. 30 seconds.
Wyoming out of timeouts, and the New Mexico Lobos, who entered this game riding the longest active losing streak in college football, a fumble by Trey Smith after the Cowboys got inside of the 10, gave them this, what looks to be game-winning possession, and this is the turnover for Trey Smith.
As huge of a game as Trey Smith has had, Shook, who got that last interception, caused that fumble. Ball security costs Wyoming on that one play, and Trey Smith, it's a play he'll never forget.
In a game I think these Lobos won't soon forget. The knee for Chavez, the Gatorade bath for Danny Gonzalez. He said he grew up on cherry and silver.
They gave him both buckets.
His memories forged before he could even speak going to games, remembering the win over Jim McMahon and BYU in the early 80s. Walked on, earned a scholarship, became a GA, worked in the video room, became an assistant coach, and in his first year back at his alma mater, he gets him off the schneid, and they snap the longest active losing streak in college football, while Craig Bowl in Wyoming, they lose their quarterback during the game and a third contest in conference play.
Yeah, bitter disappointment for Wyoming, but just pure euphoria for Danny Gonzalez and his Lobo football team.
And an update in the standings in the win column. You can change that number for the Lobos. They are 1-5. Wyoming falls to 2-3. And the Lobos soak it up. The Cowboys lick their wounds. We'll be back with more. This is the scene moments ago as the Lobos celebrated on the field their first victory of the year, their first under their own son, the first-year head coach, Danny Gonzalez. The longest active losing streak in college football is over. Some big plays for your Lobos tonight, Coach. Congratulations to you. In particular, Brandon Shook forcing a fumble and a huge pick to close out the game.
They did a nice job. I mean, the defense kept stepping up, and I mean, how about that? A fourth-string walk-on quarterback, true freshman from Rio Rancho High School in Albuquerque. I mean, in New Mexico, making those plays. I hope the next time they celebrate like that is for something more meaning than just one win. My goodness. Obviously, you can tell we haven't won. And by the way, that longest losing streak in the nation was only for a couple of hours, by the way.
Right.
But that's okay. It's not us anymore.
Hey, Coach, this game, the way your team kept stepping up time after time, what does that tell you about some of these young men that you got playing for you right now?
They're willing to fight. I mean, that's the best thing that we've got going on right now is they're competitive. We still got to get a lot better at the football team, but that's a heck of a football team that we just beat tonight. I mean, Coach Bowl and them, they do a great job of being physical and play this kind of football that we want to play. And I thought we matched their intensity tonight and played a real physical brand. We caused some turnovers, and we just kept fighting and made enough plays at the end to win the game.
A lot of misdirection for your team early. It felt like that had Wyoming grossly off balance, and Bobby Cole was incredibly tough, rugged, and opportunistic out of the backfield.
You know, it's exactly the thing we talked about. We wanted to be physical and match their physicality. Bobby did a great job tonight running the ball. I mean, the guys up front, though, they did a great job blocking because those guys going to do it if they don't have that. And I thought we just played a real physical game.
How about your quarterback situation, Coach? I mean, you ended up with Chavez, and when he really needed to, he stepped up and got that ball on that little circle route to Cole.
Again, yeah. You know, I told Bobby he screwed me on that 4th and 1 down here by not getting it. He better make it up to me so I don't have to answer the media why we didn't kick the field goal. But we weren't playing to try and tie it. We wanted to win the game, and Isaiah made a good throw, and I mean it's a big-time win for us. I mean, we're obviously we don't know how, and maybe that'll help us out.
Did you get a diagnosis on Connor Janal?
Broke his wrist.
Oh my Lord!
Proud of him though. He dragged himself off. Nobody had to come get him. So we're down to our 4th quarterback, or Bryson Carroll was gonna have to go in there and play quarterback if something happened to Isaiah. So
what happens at the hotel tonight?
Well, did you see how crazy we were going when we get a dang sack? So we're going to have to find a way to keep them calm. Luckily, we're 13 miles away from the strip, and nobody can go anywhere. So we'll go down there, we'll settle them down, and luckily we have them there. They won't go anywhere. We'll know where they're at.
Well, we thank you so much. Congratulations to you, and good luck on the rest of your campaign.
Thanks, guys. I just say my wife and kids at home love you guys. Thank you. Go Lobos.
And that is Danny Gonzalez, the first-year head coach at his alma mater. The double-barrel bath. You're not going anywhere. Held on to by his player. They wanted to lift him up. He lifted them up. And they take down Wyoming. The New Mexico Lobos winless no more. Isaiah Chavez hooking up with Bobby Cole. The touchdown proved pivotal, and the Lobos take it by a point, thanks in large part also to this turnover. You feel the pain for Trey Smith, who got the chance tonight with no Xavier Valladay, injured, did not travel for Wyoming.
Yeah, and one of the leading tacklers in the country, Shook, he gets that fumble. He causes that fumble that was by Trey Smith, but then he comes back and gets himself an interception to stop that last drive of Wyoming. It was an emotional game. Was it clean? No. Was it a classic? No. But, man, I'm glad I was here. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, these are the final numbers. Wyoming had the script flipped in terms of time of possession. The Lobos were physical and quick on both sides.
Yeah, those 3 turnovers by Wyoming. 2 turnovers by New Mexico cost them 1 field goal. The 3 turnovers by Wyoming cost them the game.
And they also lost their quarterback, as did New Mexico, in a game that was about as 2020 as it gets in every way possible. So the Lobos taste triumph tonight, while the Cowboys suffer a difficult loss on a return to Las Vegas. That'll wrap things up for the College Football Hall of Famer Randy Cross and our entire outstanding CBS crew. I'm John Sadak. Your final score, 17-16. The Lobos winners for the first time in 2020.